Did you know that mastering map types can drastically improve your win rate in Mobile Legends? Imagine turning a routine match into a total stomp just because you knew how to use the terrain, grass, walls, or river currents to your advantage. With the Project Next 2025 update, Moonton isn't just changing skins or heroes, they're remixing the battlefield itself. And if you ignore those changes, you'll be out-rotated, out-ambushed, and left chasing victories you could have locked down. So let's dive in. Welcome back to Mobile Legends News, your go-to spot for MLBB updates, meta shifts, and pro tips. Today we're breaking down how to dominate every single one of the new map types added in the Project Next 2025 update. You'll learn why understanding each map's mechanics isn't just helpful. It's absolutely essential if you want to climb rank. No more being caught off guard when the map changes. Since the Project Next 2025 patch rolled out on September 17, a lot of players have been getting caught off guard by the 4 new battlefield variations: Dangerous Grass, Broken Walls, Flying Cloud, and Expanding Rivers. On paper, these changes sound exciting, but in practice, they've created a whole new set of challenges that even seasoned players are struggling with. The first and most immediate issue is positioning. Dangerous Grass introduces unexpected bush placements near inner turrets, the Lord Pit, and even in the middle lane. These surprise ambush spots are catching unaware marksmen and supports completely off guard, often leading to sudden team wipes. Players who used to feel safe in certain zones now find themselves punished for habits that no longer apply. Rotation has also become far trickier. Broken Walls changes how shortcuts and choke points work, while Expanding Rivers speed up movement when you flow with the current. Flying Cloud completely alters the respawn rhythm by giving freshly revived heroes a 5-second high ground hover advantage. Yet, many players stick to old patterns, pushing the same lanes, taking the same jungle routes, and ignoring these new mechanics. The result is missed opportunities and lost tempo against teams who know how to use the map to their advantage. Drafting has also become quite a gamble, because the map type is selected randomly during draft. Teams often lock in lineups that clash with the terrain they're about to play on. A squishy long-range comp might dominate on an open map, but on Dangerous Grass or Broken Walls, those heroes become liabilities against assassins lurking in unexpected bushes or fighters using tight corridors. All of this boils down to one central challenge: adaptation. Players who fail to adjust their awareness, rotations, and drafts to these new maps are finding themselves consistently outplayed, not because of mechanical skill, but because the battlefield itself is working against them. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that the new map types introduced in Project Next 2025 have completely flipped the script on how Mobile Legends matches are played. No longer is the map just a background stage where heroes clash. It's now an active, unpredictable participant that dictates how you rotate, ambush, and defend. To excel, players need to treat each map like its own unique battlefield personality, complete with quirks, strengths, and traps. Take Dangerous Grass for example. It feels like walking through a haunted house where every corner hides a potential jump scare. Extra patches of bush now sit near inner turrets, the Lord's Pit, and even mid lane, creating ambush zones in places that once felt safe. Marksmen and supports who used to relax behind their towers now find themselves ganked in broad daylight. Assassins, on the other hand, are having the time of their lives. Heroes like Natalia or Saber can now spring from unexpected angles and delete squishy targets before they can even react. To adapt here, vision becomes your greatest weapon. Think of yourself as a spy in enemy territory. Every move needs caution. Every bush needs suspicion. Playing too casually on this map is the safest way to give your opponents highlight reels. Then there's Broken Walls, which feels like an urban parkour arena. Walls that once dictated safe zones and predictable jungle paths are now collapsed, creating shortcuts and flanking routes. Suddenly, you're never really safe recalling under a turret, because an enemy might slip past through the collapsed wall and ruin your day. Johnson mains in particular are thriving with these changes, as his driving routes are now less predictable and far deadlier. For the average player, the key adaptation is awareness. The minimap isn't just a guide now, it's your lifeline. Rotations must be more dynamic, and you have to anticipate enemy angles that weren't possible before. Play it smart, and Broken Walls offer surprise opportunities. Flying Cloud offers a totally different vibe. Imagine calling an Uber, but instead of a car, it's a magical platform that lets you float back into battle. After respawning, heroes can ride a hovering cloud for 5 seconds, quickly rejoining fights or defending lanes that could normally be lost. This map changes tempo in a big way. No longer can the enemy safely assume that taking down your turret while you're dead means easy progress. Defenders can soar into lane and flip the fight. For players, that means you need to plan your respawns. Don't just float aimlessly. Instead, choose landing zones that let you cut off enemy pushes or reinforce allies. The comedy comes when players forget this and drift into the middle of nowhere, looking less like a strategic genius and more like a parade balloon. But used correctly, Flying Cloud is a powerful equalizer that gives your team the ability to stay in the fight even after tough losses. And then we have Expanding Rivers, which feels like stepping into a water park where the lazy river has suddenly turned into whitewater rapids. The river now spills into jungle areas and comes with a current that speeds you up if you flow with it. Objective zones like Turtle or Lord fights are now turbocharged with mobility. Teams that learn to harness the current can rotate with frightening speeds, collapsing on unsuspecting enemies like a tidal wave. But this also means overextending is more dangerous. Enemies can flood in quicker than you expect. Heroes with natural agility thrive here, but even slower ones can benefit if they ride the current smartly. The key is timing. If you're in sync with the flow, you're unstoppable. But if you're caught swimming upstream, you'll look like someone running on a treadmill while their enemies soon pass. What ties all of these maps together is the need for adaptation. You can't treat them as cosmetic gimmicks. They are structural game changers. Drafting now requires foresight, since you don't know which map you'll land on until the game begins. If you draft a fragile long-range comp and end up in dangerous grass, you might as well be gift-wrapping your carries for the enemy assassins. Likewise, failing to practice rotations on Broken Walls or ignoring river currents and Expanding Rivers can hand a tempo advantage to opponents who did their homework. The secret to mastering these maps isn't just memorizing their quirks. It's learning how to weaponize them before your opponents do. In other words, don't just survive the terrain. Use it as your ally. On dangerous grass, the winning strategy is information control. Moonton themselves emphasized during the Project Next 2025 showcase that the expanded bush placements were designed to encourage ambushes and scouting. Teams that use vision skills, scout heroes, or even smart rotations to flush out enemies gain an upper hand. A well-timed ambush in mid-lane grass can swing an entire match. For Broken Walls, it's about surprise rotations. Pro teams during early scrims on this map were seen leveraging collapsed wall shortcuts to out-rotate opponents, stealing objectives, and collapsing on backlines. If you start thinking of walls not as barriers but as doors waiting to be opened, you'll catch slower opponents flat-footed every time. Flying Cloud shifts tempo. The key is not wasting that 5-second respawn hover. Plan with your teammates. Tell them, I'll be up in 5, cover mid till I land. If this is used well, Flying Cloud diffuses sieges and even sets up counterattacks. Misused, and it's just a sightseeing ride. And finally, Expanding Rivers rewards momentum. Moonton explained in patch notes that the currents are meant to accelerate fights around objectives. So the winning tactic is syncing rotations with the river's flow. If your whole squad uses it to rush Turtle or Lord, you'll arrive first, set vision, and force the enemy into reaction mode. The truth is, mechanics alone won't save you. The real clutch move is to treat the map as your sixth teammate. When you adapt like this, you don't just play Mobile Legends, you control it. So to recap, dangerous grass demands vision, Broken Walls demands smart rotations, Flying Cloud changes respawn tempo, and Expanding Rivers accelerates map control. Each map type shapes how the battles unfold, and ignoring these mechanics is like playing blindfolded. Success in Mobile Legends after Project Next 2025 comes down to adaptation. Not just to heroes, but to the battlefield itself. When you respect the map rewards you with victories. So what do you think? Which of the new map types is your favorite so far? And what sneaky strategies have you discovered? Drop your thoughts in the comments and let's share tips with the community. And don't forget to check out our next video where we dive into counterpicking heroes for these new terrains. Till next time!